You open up Roblox, you see Survive Zombie Arena sitting on the front page and it looks sick. You jump in, the gunplay feels punchy, the cosmic weapons look incredible. And before you know it, you've been playing for hours. You completely lose track of time grinding out waves. But then you finally shut the game down. You look at your stats and it hits you. There is literally nothing left to do. If you just look at the surface numbers, saying this game is in trouble sounds like pure bait. It's sitting right there on the front page, pulling in over 134,000. Concurrent players with a crazy 95% upvote rating. It feels like everyone has found their new main game. But if you've been around the Roblox survival scene for more than 5 minutes, you know better. Behind these massive numbers is a ticking time bomb. The community is starting to talk about the downfall of Survive Zombie Arena. And today, we need to talk about why the hype train is running out of track. To see where this game is heading, we have to look at what happened literally last year. Remember Dead Rails? It was the absolute king of the summer. Everyone was playing it, the hype was unreal, and it felt like it was going to be the next permanent giant in the genre. But Roblox players get bored incredibly fast because the platform moves at lightning speed. The Dead Rails devs went just 1 or 2 months without dropping a meaningful content update. The meta got completely stale, the dry spell dragged on, and practically overnight the game died. It plummeted down to a fraction of its player base, and it never really recovered. Survive Zombie Arena is walking that exact same tightrope right now. High player counts at launch are just an illusion. In modern Roblox, if you don't feed the player base constant updates, your game turns into a ghost town in a matter of weeks. The community notices when things stall, and the cracks are already starting to show. Let's keep it real for a second. Survive Zombie Arena isn't actually doing anything new. Underneath the neon UI and flashing particle effects, it's just copying other games' homework. If you strip away the polished graphics, the core gameplay loop is literally just 99 nights in the forest. Except instead of surviving days and nights, you're just swapping them out for intermissions and waves. You buy gear, you hold a spot, you survive the onslaught, you repeat. Because it relies entirely on a borrowed formula, the novelty wears off fast. At first, you're distracted by unlocking a new tier of weapons or a cool new class. But once that initial rush fades, you realize you're just doing the exact same repetitive task over and over again, with zero mechanical depth. It's a reskin of a formula we've already played for years, and players are waking up to that fact. And that brings us back to that exact feeling we talked about at the start. The total lack of an endgame. What happens when you actually get good? Look at this. You put together a cracked squad. You sweat your brains out for hours, and you manage to reach wave 835. Everyone dies, but you walk away with a ridiculous 3.5 million credits. You head back to the lobby, max out every single class, and buy every galactic weapon in the shop. And then, what? Literally nothing. There's no reward. No ultra-hard raid bosses, no deep weapon customization, no infinite cosmetic progression to show off your status. The game basically hits you with a sign that says, "Congrats, you did it, now go do it again for zero reason." Once you hit that ceiling, the motivation to log in completely evaporates. A wave defense game without a real endgame is just a treadmill that people eventually get tired of running on. Even if you're totally fine with the repetitive grind, the technical state of the game will eventually drive you insane. Survive Zombie Arena is riddled with bugs, and the optimization is honestly terrible. When you get into those late-game waves where hundreds of zombies are spawning and the pathfinding is breaking the server, your performance just tanks. Look at this, 38 FPS. And keep in mind, that's usually on a decent PC. If you're playing this on a phone or a regular laptop, it turns into an unplayable slideshow. Zombies glitch straight through your barricades, hitboxes desync so your shots don't register, and abilities just fail to activate. There is nothing worse than throwing away a 2-hour high-wave run because a boss glitched out, or your frames drop to 0. It completely kills the competitive drive for hardcore players. Look, Survive Zombie Arena has a great foundation. The gunplay is fun, and the initial progression hook is super addictive. But right now, it's just riding a massive wave of launch hype that is bound to crash. If the devs don't fix these game-breaking bugs, optimize the performance, and add a real endgame loop instead of letting the content go dry, it's going to end up just like Dead Rails. But I want to hear from you guys. Are you already hitting that endgame wall? Or do you think the devs can actually save this thing? Let me know in the comments. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more breakdowns, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.